Hello and welcome to Roll for Relaxation, the multiverse's most relaxing Dungeons & Dragons actual play podcast. I'm Kyle, and I'll be your guide to this world of fantasy and adventure. With me today is Amy of Amy K ASMR.
Hi there.
And Nick, the ASMR nerd.
Pleasure to be here.
Let's settle in, relax, and roll for relaxation. Hey, a natural 20.
Episode 1, Party at the Castle.
Roll a d20 to see who goes first. That's an 8 for Astraea and a 14 for Dante. So, Dante, how about you go first? Both your guys' characters are heading to the city of Wiltshire. How is Dante traveling there, and what does he look like?
My character is impeccably dressed, despite traveling on foot. He has no entourage, no carriage, no horse even, or not even a mule. He's traveling all on his lonesome on foot, but he looks like a million gold pieces. He is perfectly well presented and composed.
Hell yeah. And the reason he's traveling there is because he's been hired to perform his craft for a young lady named Matilda.
Matilda needs to get put to sleep, I suppose. That's what I do.
Yes, but not as in killing them. Literally,
that sounds
putting
a little bit too, maybe sinister.
Ominous.
Literally put to sleep. Her parents are having trouble putting her to bed.
So as you come across the city, you see the shape of it. It has a hill on the far west side, on top of which is a castle, which is your final destination that you're trying to get to. Yet again, I don't mean final destination in a death way.
This keeps happening.
But even though the castle is on a hill, there is a building in the center of the city that reaches the same height. And it's a giant cathedral-looking building that has a flag flying on top of its highest spire that has a book emblazoned on it. So as you get to the Gatehouse, you see that there's a dry moat all the way around the city. Just a 20-foot deep pit that has spikes.
Welcoming.
Sticking up from it. Yes. But the drawbridge is down and the guards let you in. So are you headed straight to the castle, or are you going to check anything out?
I'm going to head straight to the castle because I have no desire to spend time with the riffraff in the lower city.
Perfect. So as you travel through the city, you see that this is very different from pretty much any other city that you've been to. And you've been to a lot of them now, where usually you would have a lot of blacksmiths and peasants and fishmongers, those types of things. There seems to be a higher standard of living here. There's a lot more people of noble birth and people who are of a more academic stature than you would find in a normal city.
I feel right at home here.
Yeah, so you make your way up to the castle. Make a Constitution saving throw to see how out of breath you are.
Can do. If I can find where there we go.
Oh, a 12. I mean, you're still breathing fairly hard, but you're able to mask it. Like, it's pretty good as you reach the gatehouse for the castle.
Excellent. That's why I'm an actor.
Halt. Who goes there?
It is I, Dante, Bard Extraordinaire, here to speak with the Lord and Lady about the young Matilda.
Do you have any identification?
I do in fact have a scroll of... One moment here. A scroll of something or other. That confirms my noble birth. I do in fact have a scroll of pedigree to confirm my noble birth, as well as a degree from the most prestigious of Bard colleges.
I don't need your resume. Just, yeah, okay. Yeah, let him through, guys. Let him through.
I bluster through the gatehouse with a flourish.
Yeah, and you see that it opens up into a courtyard. You've been to a lot of castles. You generally know where the living quarters are. But one of the guards calls out to you and goes, "Oh, by the way, you want Ethelred the First. You want Red is what we call him. He lives up in that tower right over there. So go up there and talk to Red. He's the old man, and he'll give you the rundown, I guess."
Very well. Thank you for the information.
As you climb the tower to go talk to Red, you can look out from the windows and look down, and you see an overview of the city. You can see very well from up here is that a lot of the city looks like it's been newly constructed, and that there are scorch marks on some parts of the stone wall that lines the city.
Interesting.
All right, so you reach the door of Ethelred the First.
I rap on his door with a flourish in a rhythmic fashion.
You hear a knockback, and an old man opens the door. "Well, hello there."
"Oh, hello. It is I, Dante, bard of some repute, here to discuss the matter of the young lady Matilda."
"Oh, Dante. Yes, come sit down. Do you want anything to drink? I've got mead or wine or water."
A dry white, if you have it."
"Well, yes, here you go. It's a little sweet, but it is a white."
I swirl it around in my glass. I give it a tentative sniff, take a sip, little grimace, but I'll keep drinking.
"Not many people ask for a dry white. I feel like if you're going to ask for a dry, why not ask for a red?"
Well, perhaps their tastes are not as refined.
"Sure, whatever you say, young bard. Well, on to the matter at hand. Matilda. Well, actually, do you recall what happened here 2 years ago?"
I do not, but judging by the scorch marks I saw on my way in, I can venture a guess.
"Right. There was an attempted coup to take over the castle, and there was fighting all over the city, and some of it got burnt down, as you saw."
Terrible business.
"Yes, it was not very good. And to be honest, a lot of the blame is on me. I was the Earl at the time, and I should have been much more vigilant."
It takes a great man to take responsibility for such a catastrophe.
"Well, it takes a weak man to cause such a thing. And ever since that night, Matilda has been mute."
She's not spoken for 2 years?
"Yes, that is true."
Goodness me. Why is it taking you so long to seek an expert out?
"Initially, we thought it would just sort itself out. But we live next to the university, and so we have seen the best doctors in the kingdom, but nothing's worked. You're kind of our last hope."
I see. Very interesting. And the young lady Matilda, she shouts in her sleep, you say?
"Oh, yes, sometimes like a banshee."
Bad business indeed.
"You've helped others like this before, correct?"
I have helped countless young ones fall asleep, many a time, although I must admit I have never encountered one who screams like a banshee during the night, but says not a word during the day. Nonetheless, I'm confident I can help your young lady Matilda.
"That's good to hear. I've heard similar promises before, but I hope that you can stick to your promise."
Night terrors are my specialty. You needn't worry.
"Well, that's wonderful. You'll be staying in the room with Matilda and her handmaiden. Would you want to come to dinner with us tonight? We're having a small little banquet."
Absolutely. I would love the opportunity to meet the Lord and Lady.
"That's great. What's your surname, by the way, young Dante?
Darrington, my lord. Dante Darrington.
Oh, Does that make you the brother of the young General Darrington of the Royal Army?
I managed to suppress an eye roll and a sigh, but just barely. Why, yes, he is. The great General Darrington is my elder brother.
Ooh, that sounds rough. That's a heavy shadow to live under.
Well, we are quite an accomplished family, I'll have you know. All of us.
Oh, yes, all of you, I'm sure. And I'm looking forward to seeing what you can accomplish with Matilda. But if you're looking for someone to commiserate with, you should talk to Elfgard, my son and the current Earl. He was always overshadowed by his older brother.
Oh, it doesn't worry me one bit, my lord, not one bit. But I will enjoy speaking to him nonetheless.
Very good, very good. Well, let's reconvene at dinner time, and you can get to know Matilda then.
I look forward to meeting the young lady and her parents.
Well, it was a pleasure meeting you.
Pleasure is all mine, my lord.
How is Astraea getting to the town?
Astraea is on a magnificent looking, let's say, a midnight colored horse with some black hair as well that is braided. And she is on her way to town. She has a very stern, serene look on her face, almost in somewhat of a trance, not quite. Maybe her thoughts are inside herself as she is heading back to a place she once knew.
Great. Yeah. As you trot up to the gates of the town, you see a familiar face. It's your brother. He's, since you've been gone, which has been about 2 years now, has taken employment and seems to be working as a city guard. Hey, sis!
Brother, you are a castle guard now.
Whoa, Mom didn't tell me you'd be back.
I didn't plan on being back, but I figured it was time. I need to do some more investigating.
Oh, man, that sounds so serious.
I have unfinished business.
Oh, wow. You're always so cool.
You've grown quite a bit. It's good to see you again. Give my best to Mother.
You're not going to go see her?
I don't know if I'm ready for that just yet. Maybe I will. Maybe it needs to be done.
Well, you should go see Mom.
You are right, you little brother.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to say it like an insult, but...
You were always a funny one.
I think I'm normal. You guys were just very unfunny, but yeah. Anyway, he tries to go in and give you a hug, even though you're like still mounted on your horse, and it's kind of like awkward. But he does it anyway.
I accept his half awkward hug, and I grimace a bit, and I bid him adieu and tell him to follow his heart, and that I wish him the best.
Okay, well, like, don't leave town without seeing me again.
I'll try.
Okay, bye. Love you.
Love you too, brother. Expressing feelings isn't quite Astraea's first, isn't the easiest.
Mm-hmm. So where does Astraea head from here?
Astraea heads towards a local tavern that happens to be near the university, where her mother is now the innkeeper. She does take her brother's advice and decides to go visit her mother.
Awesome. So what does this inn look like?
It is a rather large inn. It started small, but then they added more and more to it as it became more and more lucrative for her mother. It is made of stone, and it is very beautiful.
So as you approach it, you can hear, even in the mid-afternoon, it's not even 5 yet, and people are packed into the tavern. There's drinks and food flowing, and it's quite rowdy. But you see your mom your mom is behind the bar as you enter.
I glance across the rowdy inn, and I see my mother. I hesitate for a second on whether or not I do want to follow through with seeing my mom, because, again, emotions aren't the easiest for me, and I try to maintain my stoic sort of stature. But I do walk across to my mother and greet her.
Oh, the prodigal daughter returns, oh Astraea.
And then your mom goes in for a big hug.
Again, I kind of grimace. I don't like hugs.
Oh, you never
but I
liked hugs.
accept it. And you always know that, and yet you still hug me. That's okay.
Oh, my little girl, you've gone astray, yeah.
With the jokes again.
Oh, you know, your younger brother is the best of us at making jokes.
Yeah, he said something about us being uptight.
Oh, that's probably true, especially your father when he was alive.
Yes, one day I will be just as great as our father.
Well, one could hope, but also don't go killing yourself.
Yeah, there you go again. Don't worry, Mom. There's no need to worry about me.
There I go again. I'm a mother. It's my duty
That's true.
to care about you.
That's true. Well, have fun tending to your inn. I see that you're very busy, so I just figured I'd say hi.
Oh, okay.
And let you know that I was in town.
Well, if you would have given me warning, I could have had a bed for you.
Well, thanks, Mom.
Well, I've got some news.
What is that?
Well, I've started dating again.
Mother. Keep your personal life to yourself.
I don't have any. I have 2 sons here. I need someone to talk to about woman things.
All right, well, maybe you could introduce me to him at some point, and I'll try to be nice.
Well, you already know him.
Do I?
Yes. It is Cassius's great uncle. You knew him as Professor Lawson, but now he's Dean of the university. Dean Lawson.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe I'll have to go visit him and let him know that he needs to be nice to my mother.
He's very nice to me.
Question him.
You know who isn't nice to me? My daughter. She never sees me.
Well, you know I care. This
Do
guy, yeah, you do. You're my mother.
And I'll always love you.
Yeah, I love you too. All that.
Okay, well, don't be a stranger.
All right, well, maybe if I run into what's-his-face, I'll question him or something.
Dean Lawson?
Dean Lawson. Schmeen Schmawson. Well, then I bid my mother adieu and I head out of the tavern. The noisy, rowdy atmosphere tends to get on my nerves, so I would rather get out of there.
Mm-hmm. And where do you go from there? I assume at some point you'll need a place to spend the night.
Oh yeah, that's true. I should probably spend the night at my mother's, actually.
She just said she didn't have a bed.
Whose fault is that?
Oh wait, she didn't have a bed. Dang it! Gosh, I got to myself again. Well then, I head around town and I look for a place to stay the night.
Okay. Your mother's place is called the Sleepy Time Inn and Tavern, but the main competitor is the Bedtime Stories.
Perfect.
This place seems Good enough. I'll go ahead and check this place out. Look for a bed.
And there's a sign in front that says no vacancies.
Well, I suppose I should just keep trying. There's a lot of people in town today, I suppose.
Are you looking for another tavern?
Anywhere to spend the night at this point. I am a soldier as well, so I don't always need a lofty bed to lay my head.
Roll investigation.
11.
You don't find any inns, but you do see in the street a man you once knew from the time when you were a paladin and when you were a soldier. The guy who is in charge of training the troops, whose name is Guy. You were a soldier, and then you got promoted to the rank of paladin, which are the 3 members who guard the Earl. Mm-hmm. And so this man, Guy, trained you when you were a soldier.
Guy, I haven't seen you in forever.
Oh my goodness! You're alive. Even I didn't. You fled so quickly after the coup. This is crazy. How are you doing?
I have been better. I've been doing a lot of searching and investigating. Vengeance will be mine. Never mind. I just came back to do some more personal things.
Well, the guys up at the castle would love to see you again.
Oh, that's true. Maybe they could lend me a room, perhaps. I should go see them. I am back in town, so...
I can see that.
Well, it was nice to see you again, Guy. I suppose I'll head up to the capital tower.
To the castle?
To the castle. I don't know why I forgot that. Suppose I'll head up to the castle and see those who I used to work for.
Yeah, you should see Red.
Red. It's been 2 years.
You used to protect him, so I'm sure he'd love to see you again.
Yeah, and maybe there are a few things I could learn from him as well. See how he's been holding out all this time.
Well, between you and me, the people around here don't really like him very much. It's a good thing we got a new Earl.
Oh, who's the new Earl?
It's Elfgard.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, you guys are about the same age. Were you friends?
We knew each other when he was younger. He was a year older than me, so I did know him growing up. He's, proficient at everything he tries, but that's annoying. He wasted his talents, though.
He's been all right as an Earl, though.
Well, that's good to hear.
Yeah, I'll walk with you. Let's go up to the castle.
Oh, thank you very much.
Of course.
Go ahead.
Regale me with your tales as we walk. So you guys walk up to the castle and you have a conversation. How much do you open up to him?
I'd say not too much. Well, he did train me, though. I think a medium amount, then.
A medium
I'm still not a medium amount. I say that a lot of this is still very fresh for me, so I would rather not talk about it. But because he did train me, obviously we have a sort of relationship where I feel comfortable speaking to him about some of these things, so I think that I'll probably reveal that I have a purpose, that I have to come back here, and that it is regarding the coup. It's regarding figuring out who was behind it, and perhaps something to do with vengeance.
When you mention vengeance, he says, well, yes, I know that Amir died. You guys were really close.
Yeah, I'd rather not talk about that. It's still heavy on my heart.
Okay, I won't pry into another soldier's heart, unless we're enemies.
Ah, that I understand.
I taught you well. Yes, here we are at the castle, so you know the way to see Red, if you want to.
Well, thanks for walking with me. It was nice to catch up with you.
Of course I will. I have business here as well, so...
Perhaps I'll see you again.
Perhaps. Goodbye.
Goodbye. I walk into the castle area and I head to the room that I know Red to spend his time in the evenings, and I knock on the door.
As you're going up the stairs, you see an impeccably dressed, just like a million gold dressed guy leaving the room. And you guys pass each other on the stairway.
I tip my hat politely.
I nod my head.
All right. You knock on the door, and an old man opens the door. It's the man you spent a couple years guarding as you were a paladin, one of the 3 guards of the Earl. Oh.
Ah, Red.
Oh, I think I'm seeing a ghost.
I deserve that.
You left so suddenly. You didn't even tell me goodbye.
Yes, everything that happened was a bit hard for me. Having one of my best friends die at the hand of another was hard to take. I had to get out. Just change of scenery. I'm glad that you're doing well, though.
Yes, still alive. The ticker is still ticking. But you remember young Matilda. She's not doing so well since the attempted coup.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yes, and after the attempted coup, I stepped down as Earl. I was getting too old anyway.
You were getting old man.
Oh, you whippersnapper.
So, what's wrong with Matilda?
Oh, she's not talking. And
is that normal for children?
Yeah, no, that's not normal for children. I know you never liked children.
Well, I just have more important things to deal with generally, so. But I am sad, nonetheless, to hear about Matilda.
Well, thank you for your condolences. Are you here just catching up with people?
Yes, seeing some of those I used to know, but more importantly, I want to do some investigating. I'm here to find out something about seeing if anyone else is still involved and see if it will bring me closer to Cassius.
Yes. Not everyone knows about Cassius, so...
Don't worry about me, I'll keep it quiet.
Good.
Do you have a place to stay? Are you staying with your mother?
No, I'm not staying with my mother. Things are a bit booked up over there. Also, I don't know how much I'd love to stay with, just old memories. If you do have an extra bed, I may like to use it.
Well, yes, of course. Since the coup, we disbanded the paladins.
Really?
Well, yes, because of Cassius, you know.
I understand. It wouldn't be good to have more paladins that are close to the Earl.
Yes, so now we just have a royal guard, which means the old paladin beds are empty and not being used.
Well, good. Then I will choose my favorite one.
Oh, probably a Mears bed?
No. I would no. Probably just my old bed will suffice.
Okay.
Oh, I invited that young gentleman.
What, that flashy fella?
I'm paying him good coin to help Matilda. Well, there's going to be a banquet, and that's what I invited him to, and you should come as well. Maybe there'll be a lead there for you.
Well, normally I don't like these things, but you're right. It could lead to a lead. So I suppose I will see you there.
Fantastic. Is that what you'll be wearing?
Yes. Is that not good?
What are you wearing?
Let's say maybe just basic suit of armor.
You should go to the tailor and they'll give you a dress.
Shut up.
Oh, there's a stray cat. It seems to be following you.
This cat has been following me. What is with all these stray cats in here?
There's 3 of them now. They're multiplying.
Gosh, these. Yeah, if you don't take care of them, they just more of them just keep coming. God, she is really angry. Sorry. All right then, I will. Shut up. Sorry. Oh my God. I've obviously been ignoring her for a long time. Okay. Anyway. All right then. I guess I will make my way to the tailor. I suppose they'll know what I should wear.
Okay. They give you the option of, because you used to be a paladin, they give you an option of like a gambeson, like a nice cloth armor outfit and pants. Or there's also a dress that a lady would wear.
I'll go for the outfit with pants, even though it is rather stuffy.
Both of them are kind of stuffy. After they get you all settled up, it's about time for dinner. And so they chauffeur you to the dining hall. And I assume Dante makes his way there as well.
Absolutely, I do. I wouldn't miss it. I spend a little bit of time getting cleaned up. Not that I need to particularly, but, the wear of the road, a little bit of dust here and there. Make myself look extra pristine. Put on some extra jewelry, perhaps.
Spurt some cologne.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so as you enter the dining hall, you see a long table that has a roast pig in the center with an apple in its mouth. There's just a veritable spread of food, potatoes, carrots, poultry of multiple types, all spread before you. You see at the head of the table, already waiting, is a very handsome young man with attractiveness and style that would rival even Dante.
Ho ho. Well then.
Whew.
He has a thin crown on his head, and Astraea knows him from her childhood. This is Elfgard. Next to him is Red, and to the left of Red is Matilda. And to the left of Matilda is a nameplate that says Dante.
I stride forward confidently, right in front of Elfgard, and I take the deepest bow with the largest flourish. And I say, "My lord, it is a pleasure to be banqueting with you tonight. I look forward to discussing Matilda, the young lady Matilda, with you, and getting to know her."
Oh, well, thank you for coming here. Matilda is my niece, and I care about her greatly, so I very much appreciate you doing this for us.
The pleasure is all mine, my lord. At which I turn to the young Matilda, and I kneel down in front of her, so we're looking eye to eye. And with another flourish, I pull from behind my ear a glittering fabric flower, and I place it in her hair. And I say, "My lady," and I bow from my kneeling position.
It's possible.
She puts her mouth and her nose into her shirt and pulls her knees up, but she keeps looking at you as though she's very interested.
I give her a broad wink, and I turn my attention back to Lord Elfgard, and I say, "I believe the young lady and I are going to get along just wonderfully."
Oh, well, that's very well. I will be quite busy, I assume, so I think Red here, my father, will be taking care of this whole transaction.
Certainly, my lord. And I will take my place at the table in the allotted spot.
So to the right of Elfgard is a man seated there who has glasses on. He's dressed as an academic would. His bifocals on, and he's not as well dressed as everyone else, but he does wear the black robes of a professor. And then to his right is a very flamboyant looking man who has gold laced clothes and a pin that's just a gold coin on his lapel. And then to the right of him is a seat placement that says Astraea Palantino.
I walk into the banquet room and take a good look at everything around me. I tug at my collar slightly and make a slight scowl and sort of readjust myself, and then ready myself to deal with all this human interaction and then walk towards my seat, which I see is seated next to the stuffiest looking guy in the room.
And so you guys take up one half of the table, and the other half of the table seems to be taken up by young lords and ladies who are too busy courting to pay attention to anyone else. Elfgard stands up and says, "Well, it's a pleasure to have you all here. We have a returning face," and he motions to you, Astraea. "And we have a new face here," and he motions to you, Dante.
I flash a charming smile at the surrounding nobles.
"Roll charisma."
Certainly. With pleasure. 20. Natural 20.
No, that's
I
a
guess
15.
that's a modified 20.
Mm-hmm. It's an artificial 20.
Yes.
Yeah, they all seem to have taken a liking to you. "Well, I won't put off eating any longer. Let's eat." And people start to dig in and grab what they want from the table. You see Elfgard talk to the guy to his right, who's dressed like a professor, and that guy keeps giving side glances to Astraea.
I lean in to listen to their conversation.
Roll history with advantage.
11.
Okay. You don't remember many details about this man, but you do remember who he is, the guy that Elfgard is talking to. This is who you knew as Professor Lawson, but is now Dean Lawson, the man that your mother is dating.
Lawson.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, professor type. I hear you're dating my mother.
Well, yes, I am. Your mother is a very lovely lady.
Yeah, she is. I grew up with her. Okay.
And it is a
I'd
pleasure
like to hear
meeting
your
you
intentions.
Again. Oh, what was that?
I'd like to hear your intentions
Oh,
with my mother.
Well, my intention is to continue to woo her and to improve her life, and she seems like she'll soon be retiring. The inn is doing so well. It's booked up practically every night. And
Okay.
And well, then I'll retire and we can just spend our twilight days together. And hopefully I'll get to know you better.
Yeah. Well, I hope to get to know better.
I
Yes.
remember you when you were a girl.
Oh, you do? To be honest, don't remember you all that well.
Well, you and Cassius and Amir would steal candies from me.
That sounds like us.
You three were little devils.
We were.
I think that, you know what? Sorry for bringing that up, actually.
That's okay. Don't worry about me. Although I'd like to speak to you at some point about other things, but we'll leave that for later.
Like what things?
Just how well you knew Cassius few years ago.
The man in between you, who is flamboyantly dressed, pipes up and goes, "You know, I met Cassius once. He was taking out a loan. Very weird guy. Very weird guy. What do you want to know about him?"
Hey, flashy guy.
The name's Marlowe. I'm Master of Coin. Pleasure to meet you.
All right.
And he holds out a hand.
I grab his hand and give him a very strong shake.
He's very taken aback because he was going to kiss your hand.
Well, I completely don't even realize that was what was going to happen and continued to shake his hand.
Ow. Jeez.
Nice to meet you, coin man. Anyway, Marlowe, what is it you said you do? You are Master of Coin?
Yes, I'm the treasurer.
A loan, you say? How big was this loan?
Oh, it was pretty substantial, but that's what you could do on a paladin's salary. I would say 200 gold.
Oh. I don't even know if that's a lot or not.
Think of a gold as like $20.
Okay. Oh, wow. Did he mention any reason as to why he needed the loan?
No, but it was right before the coup. He must have died because I never got that money back. It was a shame.
You are no use to me then. I mean, nice to meet you.
Well,
Thank you.
hopefully I can be a use to you in the future. Nice to meet you as well.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Dante, who are you talking to as this happens?
I am picking at my meal enough to seem polite and well-mannered, but I'm actually observing Matilda very intently. I'm curious how she's acting, how she's handling all the noise and the hubbub and all these people.
Yeah, she's not really focused on the people, and she's kind of mirroring you and also playing with her food. And she is every once in a while glancing up at you.
All right, well, with a sly sideways glance at her, I'm going to spear an enormous piece of chicken and take a massive mouthful and just chomp on it really, really loudly.
She giggles slightly.
I give her another wink as I attempt to swallow my mouthful, but I need to take a swig of my wine to get it down. And who is to my right, or my left, I should say? Nobody?
Like a bunch of 14-year-old girls who are giggling to each other.
Okay. I pay them no heed.
Across from you is Astraea.
Oh, across, okay.
Yeah, and then kitty corner to you is the Master of Coin, and then to his right is the Professor.
Very well, okay. I look around the banquet hall. Is there a lady of the house? I'm curious.
No, there is no lady of the house.
Oh, interesting. Very interesting. I'd like to judge the temperature of the room. Are people still engaged in conversation? Are they intent with their meals? What state of the evening are we at?
People are done eating or nearing the end of their meals, and they're more into the drinking phase.
So there's some merriment about.
Mm-hmm. There's definitely a lot of conversation going.
If people are deep in their conversation, perhaps now's not the time. But I'll continue to monitor the room and wait to see. I'd like to, at the appropriate moment, provide some bardic entertainment to complement the night's meal.
After waiting about 10 minutes, there's a lull in the conversation.
I suppose another question would be, is there already a minstrel here? Is there any entertainment?
No, there's no minstrel present this evening.
Oh, perfect. Then I will wait for the moment when I can catch the Lord's eye. If that moment presents itself, I'd like to motion to my gilded lyre, which I have slung over my back. I'll withdraw it.
Oh, You would like to play that, Dante?
If I may, your lord, of course. Absolutely, I would love to provide a compliment to tonight's lovely meal.
Oh, well, please be our guest.
All right.
Oh, those stray cats just keep following Astraea around.
The cat that jumps up on the table in front of me, I give it a good head scritch. It probably deserves it. I love cats.
Well, that's good. We have many stray cats here in Wiltshire.
Oh, wonderful. I'm sure I'll love my time here. At that, I draw forth this beautiful, gilded, jewel-encrusted lyre. I take a couple of plucks to make sure that it is in tune. With a wave of my hand, I cast Prestidigitation, and a sparkling light, an aura of sparkling light surrounds me. Just a minor effect, nothing too flashy.
In this world, magic is mostly in folklore and fairy tale. These people are of a class where they've seen the best court magicians. They live next to the best university, and they've seen mechanical wonders. And so they're very impressed, but they do think that it's just an illusion, not actual magic.
And with that, I launch into a beautiful and moving song. Nothing too raucous or upbeat, something refined, perhaps classic, something classic that everyone would recognize.
Roll performance.
All right.
Is that a natural one? That's a natural one.
Oh my gosh. Oh no.
Wow.
This is the worst performance you have ever done. Matilda looks legit scared.
Oh no. I bluster through it, making an attempt to do what I can with the mess that I've created.
Oh, and it just keeps getting worse.
Okay. As the song draws to a close and my final wail reaches its crescendo, I look around, flash a charming smile, bow deeply, and I attempt to crack a joke about how the wine here is stronger than where I'm from.
Roll another performance check.
Okay. Oh, Lord. 13.
Well, Elfgard says, that'll definitely be a story to tell. Everyone give him a hand.
Without breaking my smile, I take a seat and I look over at the young Matilda. How is she doing?
She's embarrassed for you.
All right. I whisper quietly to her. You see, sometimes even the best bards mess up.
She silently nods her head. Like, yeah, you messed up.
I pour myself another glass of wine from the carafe, and I down about half of it in one go.
The night's starting to wind down. Is there anything else you guys want to do at this party?
I would like to talk to Red a little bit more if I have the opportunity.
You definitely do. The only thing separating you two is Matilda, and you can see clear over her head.
I would prefer to talk to him without Matilda present. I don't know if there's an opportunity to draw him aside at some point.
Yeah, there definitely is. And he follows you into an antechamber.
Okay. My lord Red, may I call you that?
Oh, yes. Everyone calls me Red. I'm known as Ethelred the Red. Spelled like R-E-A-D because I like to read so much.
Ah, I see. A well-read gentleman. Just like myself. Well, Lord Red, I did have a couple of questions regarding young Lady Matilda and her peculiarity.
Ask away. Anything that will help you.
Specifically, I'm curious if, during her night terrors, is anything that she says discernible? Does she speak of anything in particular? Or is it all indecipherable?
I don't know of such things, but her handmaiden would know better than I.
Ah, her handmaiden. And where might I find her handmaiden?
She'll either be hanging around the wall of the party, or she'll be in Matilda's bedchambers, cleaning things up for the night.
Excellent. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Lord Red. One final question. Are these soporific utterances ever accompanied by actions, motions? Does the young lady Matilda thrash in her sleep? Does she sleepwalk, perhaps?
I don't know of sleepwalking, but there's a lot of kicking and punching that occurs.
Very interesting indeed. Well, I will observe tonight, and we'll see what comes. Thank you for your time, Lord Red.
Of course.
And with that, I will return to my seat at the table. I will cast an eye about for Matilda's handmaiden.
You see a young woman in a white gown hanging out by the wall just behind Matilda.
All right, I will make note of what she looks like, although I will not engage her just at this moment.
Roger that. As that's happening, Alfgard walks up to you, Astraea, and goes, "Could we talk privately for a second?"
Sure.
Yeah, you guys go off into a hallway where no one else is.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, "Just so you know, no one here blames you for what happened."
I know that, but that doesn't keep me from blaming myself. I should have known. To think I had no idea. And so many good people were lost. I'll never forgive myself.
Well, I don't have anything to say about that, but I don't think that I'm the right person to be the Earl.
Why would you say that?
Well, because I can't live with myself to think that my nephew, who should be the Earl if he were alive, would be dead. And we never found his body.
So there's a chance he's not dead.
Yes.
Maybe I could find him. I could avenge him. I will be the one to bring back Effie.
Oh, thank you. What have you been doing these past 2 years?
Introspection, but also I've been doing investigating around in the other capitals.
If you would have just stayed around another week, you would have known that Effie was missing.
I had no idea, but now justice will be served.
Well, you sound very sure of yourself.
Well, because I have a single purpose in life now, and that is retribution for the coup.
God, you're always so dark. That's why I never flirted with you.
I figured. You weren't my type anyway.
I'm everyone's type. What are you talking about?
I'm not really into you pompous types.
Well, I'm glad you're single-minded and you're able to ignore my charms and hopefully find my nephew.
I will. I'll find your nephew for you. You just have to promise me that you will let me know anything that you find out. Anything that could help me.
Well, do you have any clues? Did you get anything off of people or...
The only thing that I ended up getting was that I will find answers here in Wiltshire. Which is why I reluctantly made my way back.
Well, something must have happened out there. You're wearing jewelry now. That looks like a necklace.
It's a token, a reminder of my promise. It used to be a Mears, and now I wear it to remind myself of why I keep going.
Yeah, you never were one to wear jewelry. It's very weird.
I wasn't, no. But I think of this as more of a reminder than a jewelry piece.
Well, peasant girl, I will let you know if anything comes to mind.
All right, good. I'll make sure that they pay for their crimes when I find them. Don't you worry.
He places his hand on your shoulder and looks dead into your eyes. Thank you.
I look at him, back at him, and thank him back. I don't know.
You're welcome.
Or actually, no, I'll just nod my head. How about I look back at him and I nod my head. That's more like it.
All right. And he makes his way back to the meal.
I make my way back as well and sit back down
Okay.
and enjoy my drink.
So people start dispersing. The handmaiden actually goes up to Matilda and says, "It's time for bed."
I will, at this point, I'll keep my distance, but I will accompany them up to Matilda's bedchamber.
Okay. Stand outside for a second, and then Matilda goes in, and she gets into her nightgown and crawls into bed. The handmaid opens up the door and says, "Come in."
Thank you very much. Can you describe this handmaid, just so I know?
Yeah, she's got frizzy brown hair and hazel eyes. She's very normal looking. She has a very forgettable face and a mole right underneath her right eye.
Very good, thank you. I flash her a winning grin, and I say thank you. And I enter the bedchamber, and I would like to look around. How is it arranged?
There is one large bed in the center of what is otherwise a stone room. There's a dresser with a large mirror on one end opposite her bed. The wall opposite the door is open, and there's a balcony there.
Is it a large room with high ceilings in terms of, does it look cozy, or does it look empty and austere?
It looks fairly austere. There's a pile of dolls and toys in the corner, but they don't look like they've been played with quite a bit. There's more books that are strewn around.
Interesting. And I am to sleep in this chamber also, or nearby?
Oh, yes. I'll fashion you a little bed. I'll be right back. And this woman goes out, and about 5 minutes later, she comes back with a bunch of bedding that she places down right next to the bed of Matilda. But there's also a very puffy, fancy chair for you that's next to Matilda on the side that she sleeps.
Very good. I'd like to go take a look out the balcony.
Balcony looks over outside of the city, so it's facing away from the university. You can see a bunch of stars. It's kind of a cloudless night, and fields, rolling fields, as far as the eye could see if it were sunny out.
Okay. I will head back inside, and I will take my place in the overstuffed chair next to the bed.
Matilda is just staring at you.
Does she look frightened?
No, she looks very curious, though.
I see.
You get the sense that you made a good impression.
Despite, or perhaps because of the caterwauling. Maybe I'm not so intimidating anymore. Well, I'm going to look to Matilda and say, "Do you like bedtime stories, my dear?"
She nods her head, yes.
What about lullabies?
She thinks about it and kind of reluctantly nods her head, yes.
Well, tonight I'm going to tell you the most lovely bedtime story, and I'm going to sing you the most beautiful bedtime lullaby, and it's going to help you sleep soundly, my dear. Do you have a favorite bedtime story, perhaps?
She shrugs.
Well, I think I have just the thing. And from my rucksack, I will withdraw a worn book. It looks like it's seen some use. It doesn't have much in the way of fancy covers or anything like that. And I'm going to flip it open to a page that I have marked. This is a book that I've carried with me for a very long time. In fact, I'll tell her that. This is a book that I had when I was your age. Can you imagine that I was once your age?
She shakes her head no.
It wasn't all that long ago, at least it doesn't feel like it, but I loved every story in this book. When I was growing up, I had a Nana who took care of me and read me to sleep and sang me to sleep every night, and I slept like a baby. Tonight, we're going to read one of my favorite tales, and I hope it becomes one of yours as well. And I will begin to read a tale And this tale is all about a young rabbit and her woodland friends and an adventure that they go on in their beautiful forest glade. And it's not too scary, and it's not too long, and it has lots of lovely descriptive passages just about dappled light on the forest floor and burbling creeks and rivers and things like that. How does she seem to be responding?
Roll performance.
All right. Let's see how this goes. All right. 13.
You can see her eyes kind of falling shut and then opening back up again, falling shut and opening back up again.
Okay, and as she is starting to drift away, I'm going to speak more and more softly. Softly, softly, softly. And once I see her eyes barely can stay open, I'm going to close the book. I'm going to pull out my gilded lyre. And I'm going to begin very, very softly, ever so softly, singing a beautiful and delicate lullaby. Once again, one that was sung to me when I was young, when I was growing up. How does she respond?
You can see that her eyes are shut, but she's smiling.
Very good. I'm going to finish my song. I'm going to put my lyre away, and I'm going to settle back into the big overstuffed chair, and I'm going to wait. I'm going to bide my time, and I'm going to observe.
In the middle of the night, you see her talking to herself a little bit.
Violently or quietly?
Quietly.
Okay.
Roll perception.
5.
You think she's talking about taxes?
That's a strange thing for a young girl to be thinking about in her sleep. No wonder she seems so unhappy during the day. Taxes are my least favorite thing. I'm going to attempt to very quietly lean in a bit closer because I realize that seems a little bit silly that she would be talking about taxes. Maybe I misheard.
Okay, roll perception one more time.
Okay. Oh my god. That's a 1. That's a critical failure.
Yeah, she's like very pro raising the tax rate. She believes that you need a strong central government.
She's a very well-educated young lady for her age. Very opinionated, too. I see nothing amiss. I sit back down in the chair and continue to wait.
As morning comes, she is asleep. Very, very peacefully asleep. But she wakes up, violently yelling a single name. Effie!
Yeah, I like that.
Wow,
that's a good teaser.
That's a cliffhanger.
Yeah, I thought Effie sounded like levy. So, taxes.
Oh, okay, that's where that came from.
That's where that came from, yeah. I was like, taxes. Okay, all right. Setting up to be the next master of coin, perhaps.
Yeah.
Hey guys, thanks for listening. Make sure to check out our Patreon if you want access to our episode discussions, character creation, and in the future we'll be posting one-shots and side campaigns there. That's patreon.com/RollForRelaxation. If you want to contact us, send an email to rollforrelaxation@gmail.com. Shout out to Melinda of Miracle Forest, who did the soundscaping for this episode. And shout out to you for listening to it. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next one.